California, this kind of goes along with what we've been saying. California is one of the worst anti-gun states in the union. It's probably the worst. Let's be honest. Yeah. There is a new bill filed in California that would prohibit financial institutions that do business with gun manufacturers from doing business within the state of California. This is from 2A Updates on Twitter. I put down there, you can see if you're interested, there is the bill number, Senate Bill number 637. It's rattling around the chambers of California Congress right now. So that's all I'm going to say about that. That's California doing California. Slide number 2. This is kind of going along with your Nord Stream thing. Okay. So this is I found this cool little blip. Nuclear weapons by country as of 2022. Russia is leading the way, and this is probably because of the proliferation. So this little blip came off of have you ever seen those graphs that like move, like start in 1908 and then every year the graphs get all change all over the place? So this number, you think 4,477 nuke heads is a lot, but if you look at this, if you look this up on the interwebs, you'll see that Russia and the United States has had upwards of 15,000 at one time.
Yeah, no, these numbers are actually, they're definitely on the small side.
And it's based off of that whole Cold War treaty that came up where right around the early 80s and mid 80s, hitting the peak, and then this whole column just started coming down, and it's kind of stuck right around 4,000 for both Russia and USA for like the last 10, 15 years. So I thought it'd be cool to see. I didn't know this. I didn't realize that. I figured China had some, but I figured they were somewhere in the game. But 350. That couldn't do some damage, but
yeah, but I would expect more too.
I would. It just struck me. France, good old France. Nobody takes them seriously. They're at 290. United Kingdom. I knew they had a couple nukes at 180. Pakistan. Now I knew Pakistan had it, but I was thinking that we're going to see a number like 8 or something like that, But they've really got 165, and I think that comes with the stress and relationship between Pakistan and India for the last 40 years. It's just been it's been like this, and it's everybody else in the world is just worked on both sides with diplomacy and trying to keep them from blowing each other up. But in the pathway over the last 40 years, these two have proliferated and build up their nuke storage, and both those numbers kind of surprised me. 165 to 160, so they could pretty much wipe each other off the face of the earth if they wanted to.
Yeah, and they'd unfortunately take others with them. But
now this one surprised me the other way. Israel. I always thought that they would just be stacked. If you had to ask me before I saw this, how many nukes does Israel have? I would have said 500, 600, 800.
Honestly, I think this might be a little bit underreported.
Oh, sure. They're not going to...
I think they actually have more than what they've indicated there. But let's face it, Israel, it's a tiny little place.
It is.
That's still a lot.
It is. What's Israel the size of, like Connecticut or something like that?
Yeah.
Something. Then last, as far as this thing is reporting, the last and only other country that actually has nukes is North Korea.
And that one should scare us all.
Kim Jong-il.
No.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a way of...
they basically will just end up somewhere in the ocean around Japan.
That's true fact. I'm surprised Japan doesn't have them. Is that post-World War II?
There's still a lot of limitations on Japan because of after World War II, yeah.
So what did you think of that? Pretty cool?
That is pretty cool. Growing up in the Cold War era, the whole, duck and cover and all that fun, like, the school desk is going to protect you.
Stick your head between your knees and kiss your keister goodbye.
Yeah. I wish there were a way, honestly, that you could wave a magic wand and make nuclear weapons disappear. I really do. But
mutual assured destruction is a form of dissuasion, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, that was the operating principle of the Cold War.
Yep. So, all right. Next clip. All right, this goes. I threw this in there kind of to play off of some of your responses to the concealed carry issues and leftist myths and stuff like that. And we've said more than once tonight that criminals are going to criminal.
Yep.
Right? So this seems very simple to me. Murder is illegal. Attempting murder is illegal. A felon owning a gun is illegal. Shooting people indiscriminately is illegal. Using firearms in a criminal manner is illegal. Criminals do not go through background checks. Bingo. Right there.
Yep.
Even though the law's out there, they're not going through background checks when purchasing illegal guns. Explain to me how criminals will follow any new laws, Gavin Newsom. How is that going to change anything? That's going to have zero effect on the criminality that goes on in California. Absolutely none. Explain how new laws will make us safer. These are some things that you can ask Aunt Lucy, who's anti-gun, and protesting out there with all the other anti-gunners. Just explain it. I mean, just
Yeah, dude.
tell me how this is going to work.
Yeah, make it make sense, because otherwise it doesn't. Basically, all of these laws, all it does is it keeps stuff away from the people who follow the law.
That's right. All right, enough of that. Let's move on to the next one. This kind of goes along with a theme that we've been talking about today and the last couple of weeks.
Wow.
Sabotage? ?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Planned. What's going on? Look at these, and this isn't even up to date, Craig.
No,
We need to add 2 or 3 to this map.
Yep.
This is what has happened in the last month, not including, what was it, Nebraska, a railroad derailed. This was a different railroad company, too. Yep. I can't remember who it was. And what was that thing in Tennessee?
There was a nuclear, basically a atomic energy nuclear.
Was it nuclear or nuclear?
Nuclear. A nuclear, basically a plant where they refine the ores and stuff like that. It caught on fire. Luckily, they're reporting that there was no radiation leak, no radiation hazard, and everything. Nothing to see here, but man, all over the country, all of this stuff, hazardous materials. I mean, it makes you wonder.
I'm taking into account that we have rapid news now.
Yes. That's
much more rapid news than we had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yep.
Where things, and when it's the piece des resistants, when it's high and centered into the public vision, then anything else is going to be broadcast more and louder and bigger and all that. So I get that. I'm taking that, but I don't remember a time when we've had so many infrastructure calamities in a short period of time that are just devastating, potentially very devastating, like East Palestine.
I would agree with that. I don't recall a time either where there was the sheer volume of them is staggering.
Daily.
Daily. And is it just, maybe some of it probably is, to your point, that now when something, a cow gets tipped over in the Joneses field, now everybody knows
tweets about it, right? Yep.
But it still makes you wonder.
Next slide. This is with East Palestine. If you could blow that up for my friends to see. I want to check into this. I am broadcasting this with a grain of salt. East Palestine with FEMA coming in. Evidently, this guy is claiming that FEMA is utilizing East Palestine as a pilot program area to respond to emergency situations. Digital IDs for the people living in the East Palestine area, so they can track their health because of this. Does that sound a little fishy?
It does. I haven't heard that, but
what could they possibly need that for?
I don't know.
I'm thinking everything from CYA to just another way to track and Big Brother everybody. And you know what? We saw that you were in this place causing, talking out about the government and how they handled the East Palestine area.
Yeah.
Now I know where you are 24/7. Watch your back, brother.
that's kind of that's different.
All right, next one, real quick blip on this and we'll move on. This is as of February 23rd. These little black dots and clouds are the contaminated air that is being pushed from East Palestine over top of Pennsylvania, up into the New England area and into Canada, and either traveling or dropping in rain or precipitation. I mean, this is contaminants, toxins, particle cross sections, which can be a lot of things. So
that actually kind of surprises me, although I guess when I think about it, it probably shouldn't. I was not expecting it to be going
to loop up
like that.
Yep. And that's probably just because you've seen those
It's,
weather ones
where the
where
jet streams coming around. Yeah.
Something catches it and it wings it up north.
So this is a lot bigger deal than even I thought it might be.
Now we just need to pay attention to what kind of effects people get out of it and spikes in certain sicknesses. And all right, next blip. So everybody knows that our infamous Governor DeWine.
Yeah, I got to make this one bigger.
Has asked the feds for relief, and this evidently this was before the feds decided to come in and help out a little bit. But Ohio's governor, after Biden denied his request for disaster assistance, decided to put a mask on of our friend, our Ukrainian president. How do you say his name?
Yeah, honestly, it just escaped me too. Because I'm laughing about it. But unfortunately, it's sad but true.
But Rand Paul made this himself and posted it. He made this meme. So
did he really?
Kudos to my man Rand Paul. That is funny stuff.
That is very funny.
So kudos to you. Next slide, please. This guy is an embarrassment. I cannot believe that we elect senators
like this,
dude. And no, I'll back up. I'll say I don't want anybody, even if we're political enemies, I don't wish ill on you or health. But this is funny, dude. He was hearing voices. He described them as he was hearing voices in his head that sounded like the Charlie Brown teacher. That's what he described, and so he checked himself into the medical center for depression.
See, okay. For all the people that voted
in Pennsylvania,
that voted for him, okay, I get it. For whatever reason, you hate Dr. Oz.
Oz was a douche too, so they really didn't have a good choice.
No, they didn't. But
that's what it's come down to. Those are the candidates that were thrown up there.
I mean, so your party. That's someone looked at that and said, yes, that's exactly what we want. What is happening to our country?
Yes. So that's a quick blip. Craig, what do you think about the old natural gas bans that all the libs are talking about?
It's ridiculous. I haven't quite even wrapped my head around it. Why?
So I'm going to tie it in the difference between a regular gun and a black rifle versus a regular stove and
the dreaded assault stove.
It's an assault stove. So do not be caught in California with an assault stove.
Is that one of them high capacity grill top burners?
Yeah, I think they have 8 burners up there, so that's high capacity.
Nobody needs that many burners.
All right, and my last slide is going to be a tribute to my hero and the guy I most look up to. So if you would, please, Craig. So, Dopey Joe, weak men create hard times create strong men create good times.
Good times.
Joe, you are the weak man that they are talking about. So
the only thing that's going to come from this is the cycle will continue, and eventually...
Can we survive it?
Well, that part I don't know. Yep. Our strong men might have 2 heads and 5 feet.
That's true. And man buns.
And Oh, help us
All right.
I hope you've enjoyed this clip from the Craig's Gun Channel Random Shots program. The program airs Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On Random Shots, we discuss content from ranging anything from preparedness, survival, politics, firearms, basically anything that's 2A related, with sometimes some rabbit trails and things that aren't related at all. If you enjoy this type of programming, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified when we release new content. And if you like it, hit the like button and share us if you would as well. It helps the algorithm and helps the channel grow and helps get our message out. So I guess until next time, stay safe.